Hello world, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video series we are talking about GSoC and how you can be a GSoCer if you are eligible for it. So in past few videos we are talking about what is GSoC and how you can pick one organization where you want to work on. So basically you have to understand what is your interest area, in which field you want to move ahead. I got few questions and I want to answer all the question in this video. My GSoC career. So I worked under Simpai for my as of my first GSoC proposal, GSoC project, and in the next year I worked with Ruby Science Foundation. So Ruby Science Foundation, basically scientific computing in Ruby. I will talk more about this in later videos. How many proposals project plan you should submit? So actually there is limit of 3, so you can only submit 3 proposals at time, like in 1 year. But I will really suggest like you should not go more than one. So you at most you can submit 2 proposals. You should submit 2 proposals, like 2 different organization. But if you selected in both, you can only work in one project. And I think so basically you will be selected in one project. That means you should focus in one project. So I will recommend like you should go with one project submission, like one proposal submission, and focus on only one project. So let's say you pick one organization, and under one that organization you are working on understanding the approach, understanding the problem statement, and how you want to solve it. So if you are a student, and if you are actually a student, so you have some exam time, you have some study plan, and if you are focusing on one project, you are 100%, you should be 100% sure that you are taking time for this project, and every morning, every night, you should think about how you can solve that project. Basically you have to understand the problem statement, you have to understand what mentors are suggesting, and you have to talk to mentors, like if this is your approach, will this really work? So mentors will tell you, okay, this is nice suggestion, or this will not good suggestion. Then mentors are really good in that project because they are mentoring it. That means they have already tried to figure out how they can solve this problem. So they will tell you a good approach. Basically good approach, that means what they have already discussed. So you are discussing the same problem statement, they have already discussed it many times maybe, and they will let you know this is the right path and you should go with this path. So I will give one example. Like when I was submitting my project, I started I as I said in last video, we should connect to all developers through Gitter channel, Slack channel, or Google mailing group. Okay, so I started asking question in Gitter channel. I started talking about the project I wanted to work on in Google group. I started the mailing thread. I started one whole thread about discussing the project where I wanted to work on. So I divided all the tasks into subtasks, and each task I wanted to show how this is my approach. Will this really work? Once the discussion happened and they are like, okay, it may work, or they will say this will not work. And if this is not this if that my approach will not work, why it will not work, and what I should do to make it work. So to show, like, if you have like strong point that this approach will work, you can open in PR and try to demonstrate, yeah, all the test cases are passed, that means, and the new feature that we implemented is working fine. So yeah, focus on one project, one plan, and give 100%. And next question, how to choose organization and project. Yeah, this is the hard part. I talked about this in last video. Like we have bunch of organizations every year, like around 200 organization I think got selected. And yeah, so you have to understand your interest area. So let me tell you. So this is last year organization list. Okay, so let's say your branch is medical science and like medical area, like you are interested in biotech or um, some kind of so let's say you are in aerospace or biotech or something. So we have organization that is working on space, that are working on some space project like this aerospace research.net. Okay, you are interested in genomics, like health or medicine kind of thing, then there is various projects going on genomics, like this Canadian Center for Computation Genomics, and I think genome related many other organizations are there. So you can see, you can filter out everything from here. And I can't say like this will be selected this year as well, because every year the list will keep changing. But most likely they will again apply for the GSoC, and they will get selected if their project plan is really cool. So good, but how you can say like this will be selected if you worked around 1 month for under that organization, and you get to know that this will not be part of GSoC list, then what you will do? This is a good question actually. So when I was proposing my project, I wanted to work in Ruby organization, and I find it when the organization list released, I see there is no Ruby organization. So basically this is hit and trial, but you can do one thing. You can ask directly to the community like this, will this organization will apply for GSoC this year as well, and you can figure it out. If they have very strong good proposals, active contribution and active projects going on, then there is around 90 to 80% chance that it will get accepted under the GSoC list. So yeah, pretty cool, straightforward thing. Just ask to the organization and mentors. Okay, so the organization list we will see on 10th of March. And yeah, what if the organization is not accepted? No problem, you learned something new. You learned as I said, like I wanted to work on Ruby and I see that Ruby was not selected that year, but I learned that how we can code in Ruby, how I can debug in Ruby, how the Ruby library works. So it was pretty simple for me to choose the next organization in the organization list. So I was in Ruby, I wanted to work in Ruby that year, so I chose Ruby, which is also in Ruby, and they are scientific computing tool, and that was my interest area. And student application period will start on 29th of March. So this is month of January, and 29th of March we have some 2-3 months. Okay, so this is pretty good time to find out which organization where you want to go. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to work in, that's all I want to talk in this video. And yeah, thanks for your time. I hope I clear few doubts. If you have any more doubt, you can just comment out in video, or you can ping me in Instagram.